Hi everybody, this is Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to make this little felted pouch here. It's really cute. I think it turned out really nice. Let me move my camera up just a bit so you can see it better. See that? It's a cute little bag. Adorable. Now there's a couple different ways you can do like the handles. You can carry it kind of like this. Like I said, it's real little. And it's felted with 100% wool. So I'll show you how to do that. So you can see there's no holes in the stitches. It's like a solid piece of wool. Or you can take it and that drawstring there is just kind of tied up to make that handle. You can undo it and then have a regular drawstring on it if you want. Like that, you know. Carry it like that, or just however you want to do it. Bow it up, make a nice little pouch for decoration. You could put one of those drawstring button thingamajigs on it that slide up and hold it there. Or you can open it up and actually use it as a bowl if you wanted to. This drawstring can just be decoration, but you've seen it in the picture there, all the ways that I did it. And felting is actually quite easy. So, I mean, my favorite's the little bag in the beginning. That's so cute. But yeah, you put whatever you want in there. It's pretty versatile. You can do quite a bit of stuff with it. So, let's go ahead and get started on it. Okay, special thanks to all my friends at Hobium for providing today's yarn for me. Today I'm using their Kartopu. I hope I said that right. Felting wool in the prints. This is what it looks like. I think it's cool. It's got a little sticker here so you can pull from the center. I never really seen any yarns do that before. Now, some wools felt really good and some do not, in my experience. This one actually felted really well. So it's a nice wool to get if you want to felt with it. It is a bulky 5, I do believe. And there's 109 yards in one of these cakes. And one cake will be enough to make that little pouch that I'm getting ready to show you, or that one that you just seen in the beginning. So I'll put a link below in the description box to where you can check out this wool and all other Hobium products. They have a lot of pretty colors in this wool. And like I said, it does felt quite nicely. So yeah, look in the description box for them. Also put a link to their Instagram and Facebook too if you want to check them out. So yeah, thanks to Hobium for the yarn. And then I'm going to be using a size J, which is a 6mm crochet hook. Now this is a really easy project. You do need to have access to either a washing machine or a plate, your sink or something that you can use, because the felting process takes hot water to make it felt. And I also want to take a second to ask you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you look in the description box of this video or any of my videos, you'll see an auto subscribe link. Just click on that and you'll never miss any of my updates. Okay, now we're going to start off with the slip knot on our hook. Now, as with anything that you felt, it will shrink. Sometimes some felt shrinks quite a bit, some not so much as others. But you never really know how, if you've never used the felt, how much it's gonna shrink. So we're gonna make the project we make is bigger, but it's gonna turn out smaller. So you want to start off with a chain of 3. We're gonna slip stitch into the first chain to form a ring, and then we're gonna chain 1. Now we're gonna work 12 double crochets through the center of the ring. We're working on the base of the pouch now. So 12 double crochets through the center of the ring. Okay, I've made it to the end of round 1. You can usually pull your tail, well that just broke off, and close up that center circle a little bit smaller, just like that. And now we're going to end with a slip stitch into our first double crochet, and you'll have 12 stitches now at the end of round 1. Round 2, what we're going to do is chain 1, and we're going to work right back into the same stitch that we slip stitched into, and we're going to put 2 single or 2 doubles, I'm sorry, 2 double crochets into that very first stitch, that very same one that we slip stitched into. 2 doubles. And now we're going to work 2 double crochets in every stitch all the way around until we get back to the beginning. So 2 doubles in every stitch. Okay, I've made it to the end of round 2. 24 stitches is what you should have. Go ahead and end by slip stitching into your first double crochet, just like that. Now we're going to chain 1. We're going to go back into that very first stitch, the very same stitch that we slip stitched into, and double crochet. Now the next stitch is going to get 2 double crochets into the same stitch. The next stitch will be 1 double crochet, and then the next stitch will be 2 double crochets. One double crochet into the next, and then 2 double crochets into the next. And that's the pattern we're going to repeat all the way around. 1 double, 2 doubles, 1 double, 2 doubles, all the way around until you get back to the beginning. Okay, I've made it to the end of round 3, and your last stitch should have had 2 double crochets in it, and now you should have 36 stitches. Go ahead and end by slip stitching into your first double crochet, and we're going to chain 1. Now we're going to put 2 double crochets in a row, and then 2 double crochets into the next stitch. So we're going to yarn over and go right into the very first stitch and double crochet. 1 double into the next stitch, and then the next stitch is going to get 2 double crochets, and that's what we're going to repeat all the way around. 1 double in each of the next 2 stitches, and then 2 doubles into the next. One double into each of the next 2 stitches, and 2 doubles into the next. So it's 1 double, 1 double, 2 doubles, 1 double, 1 double, 2 doubles, all the way around until you get back to the beginning. Okay, I have made it to the end of round 4. You should have ended with 2 double crochets in that last stitch, and you should have 48 stitches now. Now we slip stitch into our first double crochet, like that. Now there's no more increasing. This is the biggest base that we're going to do. Now all it is just rows of 1 double crochet in every stitch. So you just chain 1, double crochet right back into that very first stitch, and you just work around, putting 1 double crochet in every stitch. And this will start building the walls up of your bag. The more rows you do, the tall, you'll notice the bags start to form. So just like that. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to work 1 double crochet in every stitch all the way around until I get back to the beginning. I'll always have 48 stitches now. Then I'll slip stitch into my beginning, double crochet, chain 1, and do another round of 1 double crochet in every stitch. And I'm going to continue doing that until I get 8 rounds of 1 double crochet in every stitch. Or if you start from the beginning, it'll be 12 rounds total. So just continue working 1 double crochet in every stitch and get your bag taller for a total of 8 rounds of the 1 double crochet, or 12 rounds starting from round 1. Okay, I got my 8 rows of single crochet done, And what you want to do now is tie off, and you want to kind of leave a long tail, and you want to sew it in really, really good because you're going to be putting it in the washing machine, and you don't want it to come undone. So once you get that done, we're going to need to make a long drawstring chain, and all it is a single crochet row. But I'll show you what I did. You want to chain 81. Hopefully that's long enough, because it does shrink, but it's really easy. Just do your chain of 81. I'll just show you on a shorter scale. But once you get your long chain of 81 done, go ahead and single crochet in the second stitch from the hook, and then all it is one single crochet in every stitch for the length of the chain. That's it. And when you get to the end, you should have 80 stitches. Remember, mine's shorter because I'm just showing you. And then you just tie off. It'll look like this. 80 stitches at the end. Just one row of single crochet. Then you tie off and hide these tails really, really good too. And once you get your tails hidden really good, we're going to throw it in the washing machine. And we want to wash it on hot. Run it through the hot cycle. You can add a little bit of detergent if you want to. And also, I always like to throw a towel or a pair of blue jeans in there with it, because it kind of rubs up against it and it agitates the felt, helps the felting process. So I'm going to go throw mine in the washer, and we're going to see what it looks like when it's done. Throw your drawstring in there too. I still have to hide these tails, so remember, don't forget to hide those tails really good. Once you get them hidden, remember, it has to be on the hot cycle too. Okay, now after you put it in the washer, if you don't have a washing machine, you can use like your sink or your bathtub and just scrub it under really hot water. As hot as you can stand it. You see, I think my hands are a little red. I ran mine through the washing machine once. Sometimes one wash of hot water doesn't felt it, so I just went ahead and threw mine in the bathtub and I scrubbed it like this under the hottest water that I could stand. And you want to do that until you can't see through the stitches anymore. A yarn that felts good will felt like this, where the stitches are just, it's closed. Now, if you want it to be a bowl or something, I would suggest just kind of wringing it out with your hands the best that you can, setting it up like this, and then putting something inside to make it hold its shape. And then when it dries, it'll dry the shape that it's in. I actually put mine in the dryer on high heat for about 10 minutes. It's still damp, but it helps shrink it up a little bit more. The high heat shrinks the stitches anymore, but it's still damp, so I could still, if I wanted to shape it as a bowl, I could put something in there, shape it, and let it be. But I'm going to turn mine into a little pouch. So with the felt, you can actually cut it now that it's been felted, and you don't have to worry about your stitches coming apart as long as it's felted good. Remember, sometimes you have to do it twice, sometimes you got to do it in the tub, but it should be where there's no holes in the stitches anymore. It's just a solid piece of fabric. If it don't look like that, you're not really going to be able to cut it. But some wools take longer to felt, some don't felt very well at all. This one actually felt pretty good. It felted pretty good. It's a nice felting wool. So yeah, it worked out pretty good. So I'm going to put a few holes in it for my drawstring, which I have right here, which is felted also. So I'm just going to use scissors, and you can kind of space them out however you want. I'm going to go down, I don't know, what do you guys think? About 3/4 to an inch, and poke a hole through it with my scissors. You can actually cut a hole if you want. Big enough for your, there we go. Big enough for your drawstring to go through. And you want to space them out, however, I'm going to do mine probably every every 2 inches or so, right along the same line. I'll do another hole. And I'm just going to do that all the way around. Just keep them kind of lined up if you can. Just evenly space them out, you know, however many you can get. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just enough that your drawstring is going to go through. Where's my first hole at? It's way over there. Okay. Now remember, if it's felted really well, cutting it will not tear it apart. So you have to make sure that it's felted really well. Well, the stitches are just, they just come together. Can't even find my next hole. Okay, once you get all your holes made there, all you got to do is just start kind of weaving in your drawstring in and out of the holes. I might go on the outside. No. Yeah, we'll do it like this. Back through your next hole. And then through your next hole. All the way around. Just kind of got to search for your holes that you made. Oh, man. Sometimes it's hard to find them after you make them. Did I put one here? Yeah, right there it is. And my holes aren't spaced exactly apart. I mean, it's not going to be. And that is okay. Just like that. Pull it through. Tie it up. Little pouch. Now you can put whatever you want in it. That's it. That's all there is to it. You can let it dry more if you want, but mine's still a little damp. I'll probably undo it and let it dry more, but that's the basics, really. That's about how you do it. If you want to get one of those one drawstring things that you put on here and you slide it up, you can do that too. Open it up, put some stuff in it, and pouch it up again. I think it turned out pretty cute. It's just a nice little bitty bag pouch thing. If you wanted, actually, another thing you could do is just tie the ends together in a knot. This is if you wanted to. And then you got kind of like this kind of purse here, little bitty pouchy purse. But that's up to you. You can fiddle around with it and do it however you want. But I hope you enjoyed my tutorial on felting. Don't forget to check out Hobium's website and all their nice products. I'll put that link below. Also, don't forget to hit that auto subscribe link whenever you are done with this tutorial or at the beginning. That way you never miss any of my updates. I think this turned out pretty cute. I don't know what I'm going to put in it though. What to think about it. And also, don't forget to check out my Facebook page where you can post any of your crochet projects on there. I'd really like to see a picture of them. I'll put a link to that below. Also in the description box. So don't forget to check that out. And until next time, have a good day.